it's gonna absolutely break my brain if I hear one more Republican say this. There was a moment during Tim Walz's speech accepting the vice presidential nomination where his son, Gus, started pumping his fist and crying, shouting. And immediately, the MAGA attack machine, Ann Coulter, Dinesh D'Souza, all the weirdos, all the scumbags, they jumped in. This is weird. What the fuck is wrong with him? Oh, he's obviously just like his dad, a liberal cuck crying. Gus Walz was on the floor saying, I love you, Dad. Saying, that's my dad. You low motherfuckers. If you didn't take 30 fucking seconds to read the material, to brief yourselves before you acted like complete assholes, you would have learned that Gus Walz is neurodivergent. That Gus Walz has an anxiety disorder and ADHD. That Gus Walz has special needs. But instead, they dug in. Now, some of them deleted their tweets eventually. Some of them issued some half-ass, I'm sorry if you were offended, apologies. But this really told me a lot. It reminded me just how much the cruelty is the point. It reminded me just how much the lavish cruelty is the point. Now, I mentioned it. I did a video about it. And then I got attacked by Sarah Palin, who goes, why didn't you attack? I've never spoken Trig Palin's name in my life. Certainly never attacked him. I never discussed Barron Trump until he became a part of the campaign in the last 6 months. Never talked about him. I've written about this for years. Leave the kids out of it. Civilians are civilians. Soldiers are soldiers. Every other Trump child, I never even gave Tiffany all that much shit because she's not really in the middle of the grift or middle of the scam. But the attacks on Walz's kid, it really shows you that there's this dumb, ugly subculture inside the right that loves to jump on shit on social media. I was a part of it, guys. I fully own it. I loathe cruelty to people who have less than you, who have challenges you don't have, who have difficulties you don't have. It makes me so fucking angry to see people attack a kid with special needs. It tells you every fucking thing you need to know about the Trump campaign and the Trump movement and the MAGA movement and why they are not part of the American mainstream. You know what? If Donald Trump was a man, if Donald Trump was a fucking man, he would have picked up the phone and called Tim Walz and said, I'm so sorry what those people said about your son. If he was a man, but he's not. Now, there were some Republicans, I will I praise them, who got out there and said, Ben Shapiro, we don't agree on a whole lot, but Ben Shapiro said, this is a very sweet moment, actually. A lot of other Republicans condemned this because they also know that the performative MAGA bullshit of the Ann Coulters of the world, of the Dinesh D'Souzas of the world, of the Jay Webbers of the world, is meant to be transgressive and cruel and meant to upset people, meant to make people react in ways of outrage and horror. That's not a basis for a party. And for Ann Coulter to talk about anyone's life and their children, a single woman who lives on Marlboro Reds and boxed wine and rage, yeah, you're not exactly mother of the fucking year. So I think you're going to see a lot of this kind of thing in the next few weeks, just as you're going to try to see Trump and the Republicans impose their weird alternate reality on Harris and Walz. Everything they've thrown at them so far has failed. Everything has failed. It's failed because Trump is failing. It's failed because Trump is like the one ring of the Republican Party. It's already in Mount Doom. It just isn't quite melted all the way.